Well, originally I was going to plan on mocking Nora's defeat. The real quick thing is Dark Tony won a victory, and for those who don't know, Nora's obsessed with hating Tony. Now, Tony has faced some few losses. I'm kind of all over the place with Dark Tony, and we'll get to that in another video, because apparently I'm being questioned on my honesty. Well, there you goes. Okay, so some people are asking for the celebratory video, we hitting 2.5. What's the other channels? I pin this all the time. When you see the channel memberships, you can just hit the thing, it'll show you the channels. But anyway, I'll just put the channels in their own separate thing just to save people the trouble. The other channel is, I guess, technically a kind of comic book Star Wars channel. And the other one is the Kubrick channel, so please give those a chance. Okay, so she may have erased the comments by this time, but well, she had two comments, but I'm going to merge them. I guess the basic gist, I'm not being honest and presenting her. I would assume this is, again, I'm trying to not use names because I'm trying to be fair. The S-Man. So her and the S-Man have had some issues. Now, if Nora's going to accuse me of being a grifter, I would forewarn her. I was aware of her and the S-Man having issues a little bit before this, and I held back because, one, I found this very confusing. However, what I found alarming, it's in her videos. I saw this myself, Nora. I've been there for the lives. Now, granted, I can only tolerate 1 or 2 hours straight, and then I'm like, I'm going to take a break. But I do come back. And I did catch these exchanges where she went buck wild, and not just against S-Man, but against an activist who I'm pretty sure is a woman, and I'm going to, again, keep anonymous, a female activist from Chicago. I think she knows who she is. And I'm like, she was getting really insulting and just going after these people. Why? And again, it's always vague. It's like, oh, they were acting crazy, guys. Yeah, I met them, and I met them in Chicago. They were crazy. They were just crazy. They were crazy people. I don't deal well with these crazy people. They're just crazy. Okay, what's the real story? Well, the real story, as far as I can construct, again, I'm only getting partial knowledge because, again, I'm not in Chicago. I've said consistently I'm on the East Coast. That's where I am. I've been to Chicago a few times. I have some family over there. But I haven't been to Chicago with any real depth. I just go there to visit a couple days. Again, as a young kid, so I can't just go outside and walk the streets of Chicago as a young kid because, I'm not stupid and crazy. So anyway, so I only know Chicago a little bit as well as her stomping grounds, LA. So I want to be careful here. But the West, I can reconstruct. Basically, they were starting to become more and more critical of Aaron, which she approves of there. But then they're also becoming critical of DOA and some of Nora's associates and what they do behind the scenes. And I'm not dropping even the big T, but, and again, we don't know for sure yet, but her record is pretty terrible with activists in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Now, she has done things. I want to give her credit because she had on Crazy is Love. I know a lot of people don't like Crazy Love, don't like what she's about, and her channel recently went away. I'm going to cover that separate video. It's too much information. But she's had activists, Kelly, Crazy Love. Again, I want to stay up front. I don't like Miriam. I don't think she's a real activist. She's had on Miriam, but she's tried to have on, quote, more ground level people, activist people, so on and so forth. Some of these people I think are good people, activists. A lot of them are kind of stupid people, but I do think they're sincere. And other people are just terrible. And you will have to make up your own mind. That's me being fair to Nora. However, apparently behind the scenes, she acts like she's being helpful to the activists, but she consistently really tries to control them, badmouth them, do a lot of gaslighting. And why? Because they're pushing back. Because DOA and, quote, her friends are acting very suspiciously. Now, I'm here going to have to name a few names, like Tori Magoo. Tori Magoo has had to ban a lot of the DOA people because they're acting very suspiciously. And Tori still seems to like DOA, has a very Big Tent philosophy saying, I think you're on the right track, but I don't like the way you're acting in my chat. I don't like the way you're acting on my channel. So yeah, you're banned. We're not going to let you into the channel. And here I'm going to get very brutal very quickly. Now, I like Tori, but I think we can be appreciative of Tori and critical of her. I'm not going to be critical of Tori, by the way, in this video at all. I think she does mainly good work, but I do wish she was a little bit more self-critical. But that's me. This is the criticism. It's more just Tori relevant. Nora, and she's a complete coward, but Nora, a couple months ago, this is a while back, for whatever reason, just put out this long post attacking Tori. Why? Well, I'm not even going to give the whole thing, but the basic gist is, and Tori has said this, she feels sorry for these younger people who were in Scientology. She said that consistently. She feels sorry for what they did. However, she was pushing back on some of the propaganda that Norah and her friends were putting out about the young people in Scientology, saying, well, and again, Tori's like, well, that just didn't happen. That's not her experience. She didn't see that. So she was getting a little upset that the propaganda was blaming everything on the Scientology parents. Again, I want to make very clear, whether young or old, I don't have a good opinion of any Scientologist. I think whether you're very young or middle-aged or old, I don't discriminate. I think anybody joining Scientology, you have question marks. Right, just for the record. However, they were spreading these very big propaganda stories, and Tori was getting a little tired because she was a parent in Scientology. She had her kids in Scientology and says, I did many bad things, but no, they just went to a Scientology school. And she warned them not to join the Sea Org, by the way. But the things that they were saying were just flatly not true. So she pushed back on the Norah propaganda, and Norah got upset. Norah got upset. She was like, guys, I just saw Tori. I'm getting so upset right now. I'm getting so... Okay. So Tori was telling the truth. Norah was getting upset. This isn't Zero Dark Tony. This isn't Aaron. Oh, but let's talk about Zero Dark Tony. Okay, so I'm going to drop one big spilling of the tea. If you become a channel member, we'll spill more. Well, she's complaining that Zero Dark Tony is, quote, targeting her children. Right, implying, and that's, I think, even more worse, that Knife Hoarder, I hate to bring him into this, but again, listen, he's a tough guy. He's a big guy. That Knife Hoarder may be kind of supporting a PDF. And you're like, what? Because you see, Zero Dark Tony is talking about my child. Except this child is not really a child. Yeah, it's one of her children. The child is kind of old. I mean, what are we doing here? But I'll answer Nora's question. And she's like, you're not being honest. Why don't you play the clip? Why don't you play the clip with the context? Why don't you show the people? Why don't you do that? We don't do that here, Norah, because you and many other people at SPTV keep copyright striking people even when they use legitimate clips. What are you? I'm not stupid. Why don't you play the clip and I can do a copyright strike. Really, Norah? Really? So I have got more than a few strikes on my channel. So I got to be real careful what I do. Got to be real careful what I say. Got to be real careful with what I show. So I got to be real careful. I'm being forced to be careful because of people like Norah. So here's what we're going to do. The strikes eventually do expire. When they expire, then Norah can ask, hey, why don't you play the clip? But really? And listen, I know Nora's lazy. She doesn't watch the videos. But I'm sure some of her people at least watch snatches of it. So they're well aware of the situation with the channel. And I'm also very clear that Aaron is the one doing the copyright strike. Okay, so listen, I don't like Aaron. I don't like what he's about. I think he is what he is. He's a monstrous beast. He should be either in a mental hospital or he should be in jail, frankly. He's done a lot of criminal acts. He's just a very vicious, ugly customer. And for months and months, Norah was helping him. For months and months and months, when Aaron was being a vicious monster, Norah was helping him. But now Nora's like, oh, I've been forgiven. I have transcended my evil. Okay, I mean, if you want to think that, but again, it seems to me you're still doing the same thing. It's just been a very superficial change. Now, with the S-Man, I don't think you even got the point. The point is not, oh, I wasn't insulting him. The point is you banned him. The point is you banned many people for asking very simple questions. Why are you, Norah, not more critical of DOA? Why are you not more critical of Louis Repetto? Why are you not more critical of Scoville? Why are you lying to us? You know who these people are. You knew about Louis Repetto. You knew about Scoville. Maybe you don't know everything, but you knew enough. You knew that they were criminals. You knew they were grifters. You didn't care. Right? You didn't care. You deliberately let women be victimized. That should be on your conscience. But apparently it's not. Apparently the real the real evil enemy of the women is me. You put out a title that's very distortive about me. Now we know who really is evil, who's the real grifter. If your best thing against me is, that title is such an exaggeration. Well, Nora, I don't know about you, but in the year of 2024, I didn't help victimize young girls. You did. Live with it, okay? Thanks.